Paper Chef here. Welcome to part 5 of my Hello Beautiful workshop series. This series covers the Hello Beautiful stamp set and the Beautiful Shapes dies. Let me go ahead and show those to you. Great. Now in this tutorial, you're going to learn how to create this project here. And we're also going to start a little bit on a new project as well. We're not going to finish this one, but let me give you an idea of what we're going to be covering. So for this mini paper pumpkin box, we're going to be using the watercolor pencils and getting this nice background effect. For this little note card, we're going to actually be stamping. This is not watercoloring. It looks like watercoloring, but it's not. We're going to be starting to watercolor the shapes. And then later I can cut those out for you. And when I come back next time, I'll show you how to finish this card. I'll give you an idea how I created this card from my Rainbow of Happiness workshop series. And then we'll create a whole new project as well. So we'll start on this card, just as far as watercoloring paper, or watercolor paper, I should say, or shimmer paper. You can use any kind of absorptive watercolor paper. Okay, so let me show you. I don't want to get these wet. I'm just going to kind of show you the project. So this is this is called like off stamping when you don't get it so dark on the card. So that's the technique. And then when you get that light background like that, you end up where you can stamp the sentiment over it. So that's for the note card. Now for this one, we're going to do this while the mini paper pumpkin box is flat, right? We don't want to, you could put this note card in it later. So that's why I did this project together, because the note cards fit in the mini paper pumpkin box. Soon to be retiring, by the way, this box. All right, we'll use that as a guide just to see which colors I used where. And I don't probably need to put any water in my aqua painter, but I'll show you about the aqua painters, a couple different ways to use them, and we'll go from there. So now, the interesting thing about this is like, oh no, it still has lots of water in it. I think what's very interesting about this aqua painter is usually, you know, I open things the other direction, I think. I don't know. It just seems like it's backwards. All right, so I'm going to open it. I'm spinning it to the left to open it. Well, no, I guess that would be right. Lefty-loosey, righty-tighty. No, righty-tighty, because it's lefty-tighty, right? Wait a minute. That's my right hand. Maybe it is right. It just seems like it's all backwards. So anyway, to put water in it, you're just going to pour water into your aqua painter. But I'm just going to use it like 2/3 full because I'm going to drain it pretty quickly. And then you're just going to screw back on the cap. But you don't really even need to do that. You can then squeeze where it says push. You don't even need to put any water in your aqua painter, because you can just use a bowl like I end up doing anyway and just dipping into it. But see, this is how to squeeze to get the water into the chamber. And see how it's coming out? And then that's how you can get a little bit of water to come out. The reason some artists use these is because they get the control over exactly how much water comes out. But in other words, you could just dip in it as well. And since we're just doing streaky background, that's all we need. Now, another way to use this is you could take your ink pad. Now, I'm using watercolor pencils because that's what they're made for. But you can also get your same colors, and you could put like a blob. Sometimes you can squeeze. The older ink pads, it was easier to squeeze. Something like that, right? A blob on the bottom of your ink pad. And then I'm just going to do this before I get my pad. So you could just watercolor by doing that. Isn't that nice? So you could just dip right into your ink pad, and you can make nice watercolors. I like using the watercolor pencils because my streaks are more, the watercolor pencils are pretty solid. And then what happens with this kind of technique is then you add the water later and you can stretch out how far your streaks are going to go. Let me just grab my tray here so I don't get water all over the place. Aqua painters come in a set like this. Well, they're called water painters now. They used to be called aqua painters. They were blue. Now they're white. And you get 3. You get different sizes. I hardly use the other one here. I never used the big one at all, but I use the small one sometimes. So you get small, medium, and large. So that's the small one. And then this is the medium size. So that's what I'm using right now. And then the watercolor pencils, I got these out of 2 different sets. We have them available right now in our store. My store is linked in the description of this video. You have watercolor assortment number 2. And watercolor assortment number 1. Watercolor pencil assortment. So then the different colors, these have like all our basic colors. And that's what I'm going to be showing you what colors we're using. I don't think I need to use the Night and Navy. I'm going to use Pumpkin Pie, Balmy Blue, Melon Mambo, because I don't have the actual Magenta Madness, because this is an actual, like, an in color, but this one's close enough. And then Crushed Curry, which is a nice shade of yellow. They don't come out the way you think they're going to come out. They don't come out like that. They're much lighter, I think, than they look in the picture. But I think I might have had to use Night and Navy this to make it a little darker, so we'll see. So now we're going to put our mini paper pumpkin box here. And say hi if you're coming in so I can see you. Let's put this water over here. There's a shiny side to these boxes, and there's a flat side. Let me get rid of all this extra water. So I'm going to be coloring the flat side, right? And because, let me just show you how it's going to open. It's going to fold, right? And it's going to open like that, so that's the front. So I'm just going to keep laying it flat, though, as we color it. So let's go ahead. Let's put this over here. I need a flat surface. Put that right there like that. All right, let's do this. So now I'm going to take this is our guide, and we'll do this one, the Melon Mambo. And it's just really easy to use watercolor pencils. And you're just making your own background. So if you don't even want to add water to the watercolor pencils, I mean, they're still nice. But when you add water, it just totally transforms these. Okay, so let's do it. Let's take our water painter, and let's just go ahead and do that. Add the color. Add the water. So now it has that painted look. And if you want more color, just get in there with your pencil again. Okay, and another technique is, this is what I do a lot. So I just take my painter and I just go right to the tip. And it gives me more control. Look at that. So you can add a lot more color, darker, make it darker that way, and wherever places you want it to be darker. So if you're coloring flowers, I would recommend this method, because you need exact kind of control of where your paint is going. But since I'm just doing these little streaks, this method is fine too on the edges. Okay, voila. I'm happy with that. So now let's do the Crushed Curry next. And I can go ahead and say hello as I do this, as I color. So if you're here, say hello. Hello, Gloria. Just having fun coloring. This is so, so relaxing. And of course, try to use coordinating colors, but these are just, watercolors aren't going to look not really like the ink, because they're a lot lighter, I think. And hi, Kathy P. And let's see who that is. Mabel and Pamela. You're actually at work right now. Ooh, I'm not going to tell your boss. Look at this color just transform. Look at this Crushed Curry. It almost looks like more like, what you can't see is I keep dipping into the water. That's what you don't see me doing. I keep dipping into the water. But like, this is like looking more like Daffodil Delight when when it's darker and you color, and then you color it, it makes it lighter. Oh, yes. Happy with that. Now we're going to do, now I don't remember if I used Balmy Blue or Night and Navy, so we're going to try it. We're going to try Balmy Blue, because that's the coordinating color, and see what it says. All right, so. Oh, okay, you were going to work, and then there was lots of snow on the road. Okay, so you're not actually at work. Well, I hope you're safely home. That's good. And not at work because of all the snow. I hate the snow, and then especially driving in it. It's like, no way, Jose. Okay, I'm just dipping. Or you could squeeze. Remember, you can squeeze because you got water in your aqua painter. Yeah, I think the reason I used the night in navy was to make this darker. So that was balmy blue. So I'm going to go ahead and dip into the night in navy here and mix the night in navy with the balmy blue, see, to make it a little bit darker. Because balmy blue is too light. I'm really sad these mini paper pumpkin boxes are retiring. Well, I'm not that sad because there's some new packaging coming out. So out with the old, in with the new. If you want to make some green, you can mix these two together a little bit. But I'm just keeping the layers separate. And the last one was pumpkin pie. Doing pumpkin pie last. See, so I'm going for this kind of look like I did here. Then we'll let it dry while we do some other things. And then it'll dry and we'll come back and we'll decorate it. All right. I think I put my contact lenses in backwards, honestly, because and I didn't know that I put them in backwards. They felt good, but I can barely read anyone's names. I see Linda's here. Linda's catching up. What are you catching up on? This video, we're just watercoloring. I'm using the watercoloring pencils. I see my paper chefs are coming. My team members. Linda is one. Sue is here. Hello, Sue from Minnesota. All right, let's see. Put this there. Pumpkin pie is just such a great color because not only is it great for fall, but it's also bright and we can use it for summer too. Mixing. Okay, so just look at that transform when you add the water to your watercolors pencils. And then we're gonna get on there and get the tip. Make it darker. I'm over there dipping. You can't see me, but I don't want to put everything in the camera view. Okay, and I gotta get above it and see if it's even Steven. So now these are only like they're retiring, but you can get. I'm gonna see. I think they're like $7.50 or something. I'm gonna see how many are in a package. These mini paper pumpkin boxes, because they look like a mini paper pumpkin kit. All right, let's see. Mini paper pumpkin box. Oh, good. You get 10 in there for $7.50, and so they're food safe, and they're flat, so you can just decorate them easy. And we'll go ahead and, well, it has to dry anyway, so I can go ahead and assemble it. Okay, just fold along the score lines. Super easy to assemble. And you put candy in it and everything, or these note cards that we're going to stamp. So I also want to do more watercoloring before we stamp though, because while I have the water stuff out, and then I can move the water away, make room for the stamping. Now, if your air is not too humid, fold them a little slower than I am. I'm in humid areas, so like I'm not going to crack the cardboard. So if the air's dry, you might crack the cardboard if you fold too fast. But it's all good. Just that's what inking the edges is for. So now I'm just snapping. Hear that noise? Let me hear that noise. Listen to this. See that? Snaps into place. They're brilliant, and you can decorate them any way you want. So we'll let that dry a little bit more. It's pretty much dry already. We'll decorate it in a little bit. All right, with our ephemera and our stuff. So let's look at those, and now let me go ahead and raise this up so you can have a little bit better view and you can see much more of what I'm doing. Hello, Terry. All right, so we're gonna keep doing watercolor pencils. So I pulled out the coordinating colors. Now I'm gonna take what's called watercolor paper. So you don't need watercolor paper to color onto, but some of you got it in your kit. And I don't want you to be intimidated because it's called watercolor paper, that you can color it and die cut it like anything else. What I like about this watercolor paper, this is another Stampin' Up! Product, Fluid 100 watercolor paper. I like it because it's sort of a vanilla color. It has texture, so it doesn't need embossing. It already is textured, like as if you used a subtle embossing folder almost. It's textured, it's thick, okay? It absorbs water. It's sort of off-white. Okay, so let me show you that card again. Fluid 100 watercolor paper. There's the product number. Find that card I was going to mimic here. Before we do the stamping, this card here uses, we can watercolor the shapes, but then they're going to get warped a bit. Whether you use this or shimmery white paper to color onto, when you add water to this, it does get warped a bit, and then what happens is, I think it's easier to die cut it, right? So let's just do this. So we're going to die cut, so let's just do this. This is how I did it earlier. I did something like that. Just something like this. I mean, I'm going to do a bunch more between now and the next video, or actually I probably have some in my bucket of crafty goodness already. Something like that. Okay. You're getting the idea. I'm just sort of like making overlapping colors, and then we'll add water to it, and then when we die cut it out, we're going to just die cut over the part that's colored. And we'll put some more of this curry down here. Oops, is that the curry? This one's the curry, crushed curry. All right, something like that. So I just give you the idea. Now we're going to take the Aqua painter, dip, 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 and start with the lightest color because you're going to mix a little bit. They're going to mix along the edges, so you always want to start with the lightest color. Okay, so, oops, I got some red in there already. Some pink. Oh, no, that was the way it was. And if it's the way to erase these, not erase, but you just dilute it. If you get the wrong color, you just sort of dilute it. Or it doesn't really matter because it's only color. So I'm going to do the curry first. And you can just see it just transform. I just love, it's kind of like when you heat emboss, and like one of the things I love about heat embossing is watching things transform. Okay, now I'm going to go to the pumpkin pie. And I'm overlapping it on purpose a little bit on those sections. So you're going to do this to your whole paper, right? The entire paper. Okay, I did the pumpkin pie. Now we're going to do the melon mambo, which is going to be our mimic. We're mimicking Magenta Madness with the melon mambo because melon mambo is one of our staple colors. It's not. It's one of our primary color. I don't know if you call it primary. It's part of our regular color collection, whereas this is an in color. And when you have an in color, they tend not to make the in color pencils to match an in color. They do lots of other stuff, markers, blends, but they tend not to make a watercolor pencil because watercolor pencils are something that are around for years. They're in our next catalog too. So I did this to a whole sheet of paper, and then I like let it dry, and then I would like die cut them out. And I'll show you in my bucket of crafty goodness what that looks like. So now I'm doing the darker colors. It might turn green right here where they mix, which is all good. That's what you kind of want. That would be kind of nice. Let it mix a little bit. Okay, so now what you're going to do, let it dry, and you're going to take your die, which I'm going to do later. I'm going to get, like I said, I'm going to get this card ready for you. I'm just trying to show you right now how I did it. See how I mixed the colors, like so they're like little blobs. So let's just take let me see which one that was. That was here. Okay, so you're gonna put that over like right over this part maybe, right? When it's dry, again, when it's dry, all right? And you're gonna cut a cool shape out that has some of each color. Isn't that fun? And you're gonna do it with the other blobs, like this, like here, this one. You could do, one of these like that, or like whatever. So you're gonna cut out your shapes in your watercolor. And then you're going to have, let me get my bucket of crafty goodness. Let me find some. This is what it's going to end up being like. Okay. These are already dry. I've already done them. See? So we have watercolor shapes already die cut out for you. Okay. Now, because this paper is kind of thick, what happens is it warps. Hi, Yvonne. How you doing? All right. So, like, you see how it's warping? Well, you can't really see it, but when you glue it down, it's not really a problem, but it does warp a little bit. So here, this one's warping. You can see this one warping. See how it's warping because it got wet? It's no big deal. Oh, or here, this one might be warping a little, just a little bit. So I found my little trick is that I found that it's easier to then glue this to a piece of cardstock, all your little shapes, right? And then when you emboss the whole thing, everything flattens out. And that's how I came up with that. That's how I did this technique and this technique. Except for this one, I did like tape with it. So I'll try to do both, like finish these both next time. So we need a piece of, this is just jade, a retiring color. This is a piece of designer series paper and some ephemera. I embossed it with the gingham embossing folder. Okay, but let's move on because I have stamping to show you. Okay, so you get the idea. Let me move these watercolors away. So I'm done the watercoloring portion. I hope if you have any questions, please let me know. Your homework is to watercolor your paper. Those of you that have the Hello Beautiful kit, you're going to watercolor your paper, your entire piece, or your half a piece of shimmery white cardstock, which also has really good ink absorption. And you're going to color your boxes. And you're going to cut out shapes so that you're ready to make this card as well next time. We're going to make this card and another card. We're going to finish this card. Well, I'm going to have it partially finished for you. All right, so let's now take this. Let's take these, move these over. I'm such a hot mess crafter that I have to move all this stuff out of the way to now do the stamping. So we're going to I had to get the water out of the way or I'll spill it all over everything. So we're going to now take just regular stamps and we're going to do the next part. So we're going to take the Magenta Madness. Okay, we're going to take the Crush Curry because these are coordinating colors. Let's see what else. I think I grabbed the wrong color, guys, but it's okay. This is what happens when you can't see. I'm just going to end up, I don't know if it'll look okay with Pool Party. We'll see. I don't have time to run and get the other color, but it's okay. We're going to just do what we can. And if it doesn't look right, I'll just finish another note card later because it's a technique I'm showing you. And you always got to remember it's the technique. Or maybe I did use Pool Party. I think I used Balmy Blue off stamping, but we'll try it. So we're going to take the blobs from the kit, this kit. And I say the blobs, we're going to take these blobs and we're going to stamp onto our note cards. So what you want is, this one is going to be the Magenta Madness blob. So, right? That's the shape. It's a photopolymer stamp that's already stained a little. The side that is flat, there's a side that's flat, and that's the side you want up. You want the flat side up. And you're going to mount your stamping. Let's take the largest. We'll take the stamping block. We're going to mount a stamping block to it. Okay? We're going to put that one right there. And then we need the next blob. This little one's going to be a Crush Curry blob. Crush Curry. And we're going to mount that like this. And let's see how I had it going. Sort of like that, in that direction. So I had it sort of, I'm just trying to repeat what I did. That's Crush Curry. And then this little blob, which, again, I thought I grabbed the Balmy Blue. And if I have the wrong stamping block, it'll be a blessing. We'll have to get the right one later. It's meant to be that I don't stamp that blob. That's what it's telling me. You have the wrong stamping block. It's saying you got the wrong color. Don't do it. I'm laughing at myself. I like to amuse myself. All right, so now we're going to take, because you'll get the idea. We can actually remove this one and use this one. We'll try it. We're going to take the note cards and envelopes, which I have right here somewhere. These are called basic white note cards and envelopes. Okay, you have one in your kit. And some of mine got a little bent. I had guests come over and I had to clear the whole table, and then everything got bent when I tried to. It is what it is. All right, so we're going to put the note card there. I'm going to leave it flat. Let's see. Yeah, that's going to leave it flat like that. And we're going to do a little off stamping. So we're going to do this one in the middle. I'm going to stamp off onto the This is my little placemat here. I'm just stamping off to make sure I get a good stamped image before I stamp onto the note card. I may have to put the little, okay, that's good. It's stamped off. So once I stamp off and I get a good stamped image, I'm going to go ahead and stamp in the middle like this. I probably could have put the silicone, like the little, like this underneath to be flat. I could have. Coulda, shoulda, woulda. Oh, it came out nice though. Okay, so that's how you get that effect. You need to stamp off onto your placemat first. Keep this out because we're going to write Hello Beautiful with this. Now we're going to do crushed curry next with this blob here. Let's turn that to the side. So we're going to stamp off. Okay. Get it inked up good, stamp off, and then sort of like that. You can make a whole nice set of note cards like this. Okay, and I'm afraid to use this. I'm afraid to do this with pool party. I'm gonna do this part last, later. But because you're gonna get the idea. We're going to now take Magenta Madness, and we're gonna do the sentiment on top of there. Using the stamp set that I just had here. All right, we're going to say, hello, beautiful. Hello, beautiful. Okay, so we're going to stick that there. Stick the sentiment straight up. Dip, 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 tap, tap, tap. Okay, good. Good. Now this one you want to stamp right onto here. I'm not stamping off on this one. Okay. I think it could have gone up a little bit. The H has got a little bit. I'm just using my watercolor pencil. Yeah, that'll work. All right, now we're going to just show you kind of how I would decorate that with some ephemera. We don't have to do the whole thing. You would off-stamp that extra shape here, and we're just going to use ephemera on that, the ephemera pack. I'm going to probably leave these out and make some more note cards. I'm going to leave these open and do some more after I get off of this video, because I think while I have it out, I'm just going to make a set of note cards. Then I would have done Night and Navy inside this one. Okay, Balmy Blue and Night and Navy. All right, so you're going to take the ephemera. We're going to decorate this and the box there. So let's see what I did here. Let's take one of these little cuties. We'll put one up there. See how I was covering up? I probably had, because I had a little blob of ink up there, and that's a good spot to cover. Just get your Stampin' Dimensionals and just sort of cover up. A good place to put your embellishments is wherever you have any kind of, like there. There's a good place to put an embellishment. I just got a big blob of ink there. Didn't mean to. So let's take one of these Misty Moonlight ones and a nice cute leaf and a nice one of these. These are really nice. And sometimes you get, there's little nibs on the side there. You can just kind of rub off. So for these little translucent ones, I like to use glue dots. When I say translucent, they're like vellum. Where's my hedgehog box of glue dots? I have another box of glue dots with hedgehogs, but they're not handy. All right, there's the glue dot. Let's see where I put that right there. And I could put a glue dot on the one that's flat. I'm gonna raise this up, but I'm gonna put this on the one that's flat. So before you put it down, make sure this is gonna kind of be under your flower a bit. Okay, good, it's under the flower. That'll work. See how the card is just being transformed with embellishments? I mean, it's just so simple. With this ephemera pack. This catalog, this is the mini catalog, the things I'm showing you now, and this will be around till July. Wait, let me see, till June. January to June mini catalog. I'm just trying to I got stuff sticking around. We'll put a little star down there. Well, anyway, I'm going to finish putting that. I'll put a star right there. But what I want to do is wait, and I can put a heart later when I finish my card. And I always show you my progress in my videos, so like, in the next video, you're going to see all the different things that I finished from this video. All right, so we put that there and we cover up. And then, of course, you have hearts and you have other things. All right, now over here. And by the way, I should have scored it first, right? Oh, no, I shouldn't have. No, it's easier to stamp. It's easier to stamp while it's flat. However, before I put the embellishments on, I should have scored it with my little bone folder and everything, because that would have been easier than putting the embellishments on. Oh my goodness, what happened? This isn't the right card. This is I hope this one fits. All right, it fits. We're good, it fits. But it doesn't matter. You know what this was, though? And I don't remember now which one I gave you in your kit, but it doesn't really matter. This one here is called a note card. This one here is called a Memories and More card. And I didn't realize I wasn't using the same size card. Oops, I better definitely score that with a bone folder. All right, so what I showed you just now, either one's going to fit in this box, which is good. That's a good thing. So what I showed you just now is the basic white note cards and envelopes. I think these are the ones that are in my Waves of Inspiration kit, which is now, it's available. If you get my newsletter, you can sign up for the Waves of Inspiration kit. So that's why I had these available right here. But the ones that came in your kit, it doesn't matter, but it's the same process, right? Same concept. So you got the Memories and More note cards and envelopes, and you even got a big card. So you didn't get that size, you got this size. All right, so we don't need to do any die cutting. We've done die cutting throughout the series, but I definitely want to I just want to show you how I got this. We'll do a little bit of stamping. So we have this one that's going to go like that. So I've already cut out the shape. Look at this really cool ridge with this beautiful Abstract Beauty Designer Series paper, and there's a nice ridge. So I put the small side up like that. And then I'm going to show you, like, we'll do a little stamping. I'm just making sure this is dry. Yeah, it's dry enough to put this on there. Okay. Okay, ephemera. Let's see. We got ephemera. We're going to put some, maybe these little guys with glue dots. Love these ephemera packs. So before retirement of products like this, I stack up on things like this because I can just make an instant card real quickly with ephemera. I don't need to worry about die cutting, using my ScanNCut and all this business. I probably should have put an extra glue dot on that one. Let's see if I can hide the glue dot. Where can I hide you? On the tip. There you go. So that way it doesn't get caught up on something. I'm putting 2 glue dots on each one. All right. I'm just going to kind of go like that, only because that's where there's a little blob of paint, of watercolor. So, like, wherever you put these is where you want to cover up any mistakes. But I also like to use odd numbers and stuff like that, too. So I do have a couple ways. I mean, my methods are covering up mistakes or using odd numbers of embellishments, and using odd numbers of embellishments. I don't want this glue dot to stick out. So I'm pulling them off. It's like a little booger. All right, come on. I can't get in there, so I just got to get rid of the rest of this roll here. All right, so now we'll stamp Hello Beautiful in. Okay. I might already have something I could put on here, so we don't have to stamp. Let's see. I might already have here. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. The reason is because we don't need to always reinvent the wheel. I did teach you already in this series how to do all these things. We've done the inking with this one was done with the blending brush, and you've done a lot of different things in this series already. So each time I show you new techniques, I don't want to show you things that I've already shown you before, right? So let's put that little guy. I'm going to do something like that. I'm going to put him up there. This one down there. Dimensionals. Okay. And then I'm going to add a few little adhesive backed hexagons, just for good measure, because I really love that embellishment. The adhesive back hexagons. Hexagons are just cool anyway. So for this one, I stamped it in, And the reason you see that my dimensionals are different colors is, it's what's funny is some are from my paper pumpkin kits, right? And some are from my, the ones I buy from Stampin' Up, and they're different colors, the ones that come in the paper pumpkin kits. But they're all still dimensionals. You just want to basically use dimensionals to kind of raise up stuff, puff it up. Anyway, I love these Adhesive X hexagons. They're just another thing that's really cool that coordinates with the suite. Put one up there. They have 3 different sizes, so I'm just going to use small. The Just Jade. I'm going to put the Just Jade over here because there's a Just Jade there already, right? So I want the small black one here, over here, because I don't want these 2 colors next to each other. They're the same. And voila! And then we're going to get this is called seam binding ribbon. That's what that is. Crinkled seam binding ribbon. But you know what? I put it in the kit, so there's probably not enough of it. But this is what it looks like, and I'm sure we have it still. This is all I have left. I go through supplies like water, like you wouldn't believe how many supplies I go through. So we're going to use a different color. We'll use this one, which should have also been in your kit. This is called black and white something or other, gingham ribbon, black and white gingham ribbon. All right, so you're going to put little note cards in there and your little cutie things. Let's get some ribbon here. You know, your little treats or whatever you want to put in there. And then you just don't want to cover up your sentiment, you know, when you. Now, for me, I have to tie bows upside down for them to come out right side. For some reason, that just happens to me. So I have to turn, like I go like this, and I turn it upside down. And I know there's all these tricks for making bows. And I had a little bow dauber thingy. I ended up giving it away because I didn't use it. But I do think that bow making tools are really cool. See? So when I turn it upside down and then I turn it back, it's right side up. But whenever I try to make it right side up, the bow goes upside down. Voila. And we have the cutest little box for our note cards that we made. And meanwhile, back at the ranch, our little colors are dry, and we can die cut the colors, and we can make our little note cards and all the things. Okay, so what I'm going to do right now is show you everything we made in the rest of the series. And let me see who's joined me. Okay, we have from Maryland. Let's see. Oops, it already disappeared. Oh my gosh, you guys are writing like a novel up there. Okay, oh, I see Hilda, Linda. All right, thank you guys for joining me. I can't read all your comments right now because, Diana, I just can't see because like I said, I put my contacts in backwards. What I want to do right now, as we wrap up this, I want to clear these. I want to show you what we created in this series. This was part 5, and I hope you enjoyed using watercolor pencils, some watercoloring techniques. We're going to continue with the watercoloring techniques next time by finishing up this card. Okay? But this is part 5 of the series, so let's show you what we created in the rest of the series. And if you missed any of these, you can go back and watch them. In part 1 of this series of the Hello Beautiful Workshop series, I shared how to create these cards, start to finish. We used the Pattern Party, soon to be retiring, host-only designer series paper called Pattern Party with these black and white backgrounds. Then we used Abstract Beauty for these 3 sections here. And we used these ephemera pack I just showed you how to use now for all these little decorations. I showed you how to use blending brushes to blend the edges of your sentiments, how to blend these hexagon shapes that you die cut. We did die cutting techniques, and we did lots of embellishing. So these 2 cards are basic black and definitely transformed by all of the embellishments and designer series papers. So that was part 1. During part 2, I shared how to use something that's part of this series, or part of this suite, I should say, and these are called the Abstract Beauty cards and envelopes, and you also got these in your kit. So I showed you how to create these matching cards and envelopes. We did some stamping, we did some embellishing, and we just mainly did a lot of decorating. We sell these in a pack of 10 in the mini catalog as part of the Abstract Beauty collection. You can, these little thought balloons are part of the ephemera pack. Let me show you that. So you didn't even have to stamp the outside part. Just stamp the inside, do a little bit of inking. Here's another one. I miss your face. I love that. And then hello, beautiful. Okay, and then at this point, that was part 2. I asked you to vote on what you wanted to do next, and you said, this looks like another one from part 1. You said something like shaker cards. So we did shaker, then we did shaker cards. I believe that's the order we did them in. So I shared how to create this shaker card from start to finish. This was my sample, and then you have one, and you have this paper in good taste in your kit. This is called Natural Touch Designer Series paper. This calls for a celebration, so we made these cards using the window sheet, the sequins for everything that are going to be retiring soon that I think are about half price. Sequins for everything have lots of colors of sequins and lots of shapes inside there for shaker cards. And we used your foam adhesive strips to make these shaker cards. Then that was part 3, I believe, and I might have mixed it up because then you wanted to learn how to make this mask box. This is what you voted for. So you said mask box next, and then we did the mask box. It says, I miss your face, and it's a little hexagon mask, like a face mask. That's why I miss your face. And we did it with Magenta Madness, Balmy Blue, lots of ephemera. Now, today we did the watercoloring mini paper pumpkin box project. And next time we're going to finish our watercolor card, and we're going to create this card here. So this will be part 6. It's a Designer Series paper panel card. So we'll be doing these 2 cards. We're actually just going to make both of these cards. Okay? And then we still have coming up this card. Oh, there's another shaker card. We still have this card coming up. And then we have our finale of our, I always end my workshop series with a bookmark or tag treat or something simple. So we'll be making tag treats while these are still available. This is the Fancy Tag Topper Punch. It's half price right now. I hope it's still available. Soon to be. It's Just Jade Ribbon is retiring. Loads of products are retiring. I hope I get to show them before. I'm going to show them anyway. I hope you get to get the products before they're gone. And then a few other things I created along the way. I created this one using some retired products. The gingham embossing folder is not retired, but this little gold embellishment is from some fancy paper that's retired. But this same gingham folder is what we're going to be using for those watercolor shapes. And then these ones I created, these cards here. This one's another variation of the first Hello Beautiful card. And these cards here are something I shared in my Skillshare course. If you really want card making to be broken down into step-by-step with, I think, like 8 different videos on just how to make one card, where I show you how to score the cardstock, cut the cardstock, mat the layers, score, stamp, embellish, blend, everything, step-by-step. I do teach that kind of technique in a place called Skillshare. I'll link to that in the description. All right, so there's lots going on. Let me see what else is in my bucket of crafty goodness here. Some more Hello Beautiful that I used for just some kind of spring cards, using the same sentiment from our stamp set. And, these are some slimline cards. I love my slim dies. This is a celebration, retired otters, but slimline cards are made with some current and some retired products. That's what's in my bucket. All right, so be sure to check out those other videos if you missed them, because you're going to get to see all of these, techniques along the way. Okay, so one thing that I've been up to lately, in addition to that, is I've been unboxing. I've done part 2. I've unboxed products from this new annual catalog. And this May 3rd, this is going live. So that's an exciting time for us. This is going live. Now, these colors here, are all retiring. This one's called Bumblebee, Magenta Madness, Just Jade, Misty Moonlight, and Cinnamon Cider over there. Those 5 colors are retiring, so if you like those, get those while you can. And every time that colors retire, we have new colors that come in. So just as I end here, this will only take me a minute. Stick with me. We have Sweet Sorbet. These are new colors coming May 3rd. Orchid Oasis. And I went over these in great detail and even stamped with them in my unboxings. Tahitian Tide, Parakeet Party, and Starry Sky. These same colors in the form of cardstock. Tahitian Tide, Parakeet Party. Look at this. Already getting stained. That's probably me. I think that's me. Sweet Sorbet, Starry Sky, Orchid Oasis. We have Designer Series paper in the 5 colors that comes in 6x6. We always come up with new patterns of Designer Series paper every time new colors come out. We have, this is more Designer Series paper over here. And then we have glimmer paper. I mean, there's just so many in color things we have. We have blends and markers and re-inkers and ribbon and twine and embellishments. So check out part 3 soon for my unboxing. I've done part 1 and 2. Well, that's all for now. This is the Paper Chef. We'll see you again real soon. I appreciate you watching today. And thank you, Sally. I appreciate that.